Hey, what's up? This is Big Lee with Hustler Spirit. I got the one man, the Fleece, cool as a fan in here. What's going on, Fleece?
Man, there's a lot going on in sins of the past. It's a lot going on, sins of the past. And here's what I'm talking about. You know, when I leave prison, I had friends in there. And they wonder, am I going to be the type to get out of prison, forget everybody, forget what everybody's going through? No, I'm not. But I'm going to make this out to the State Department in Washington. The same Department of Civil Rights Division that represented me once against this nasty prison full of atrocities. Let me tell you one that you missed. They got a graveyard right across from the prison. They call it Chicken Hill. You know what's up there? A lot of unmarked graves where they got a lot of black people up there. And they was killing, when I first came into prison, they was killing blacks that didn't have family. Nobody contacting them or writing them or visiting them. People were just left for dead. And when they killed them in the prison, they buried them on Chicken Hill. And 2-3 years later, their families are called. I got a brother, I got an uncle, or a son. And they tell them, well, your son and your uncle, your brother, he left prison 3 years ago. And that's all we know. And they be thinking, well, maybe he don't want to be found. He's buried up on Chicken Hill. The cemetery right across from the penitentiary in Eddyville. Go up and open them unmarked graves. And why are they unmarked? Why are they unmarked? Don't they have names? This is how you'll know majority of them come from the penitentiary, because Eddyville is a community. Eddyville is actually a small town of white people, the country people, but they got money. So you can believe if one of their loved ones died, their grave wouldn't be unmarked. It's an unmarked grave because the person lying in it is from the penitentiary. Evidence, man. All these years, they got all them unmarked graves up there. And if you check the archive on the prisons since 75, well, you go into the 70s. From the 70 all the way up to 80. Go back to the 60s up. And ask yourself, in a small town where the white people are rich, there wouldn't be no unmarked grave. They'll have their names on the tombstones up there. They got that type of money. So who's in the unmarked grave? The penitentiary is right across the street. They was killing the inmates, black people, and they was burning them over and wouldn't even put their name down, unmarked. So when is somebody gonna go up there and dig them graves up and find all them black bodies scattered around, their families still looking for closure? Where my son, where my uncle, where my daddy? Well, the prison said your daddy served his sentence out and he went to California. We ain't heard from him. Your daddy's dead, up in an unmarked grave, and somebody needs to unlock that. It's up there right now. It ain't no... Why is it unmarked? Why they got to put an unmarked grave? I mean, who could be in an unmarked grave? Penitentiary across the street. I know what I'm talking about. See, a lot of that was going on. And that's why they trying to shut me down out here in the streets, because they know they threw me out of prison knowing too much. I know too much, man, about what goes on in there. I did 40 years, man. Hell, they try to do it to me many times, try to take my life. They got a band of racist people, white people working in that prison. They got them in Frankfurt too, in the corrections cabinet. They're harmed like that. You got people coming off the streets, can't wait to kill a black person. But they know in these modern days, you got to do it legally. And the way they do it legally is either join the police force, corrections. And they go do it in there. Because they're going to get justified, they think. You know, they've been getting away with murder. But back to Chicken Hill, I want the Department of Justice Civil Rights Division, Washington, D.C., the same one that represented me and won a $200 million lawsuit against the state corrections cabinet in Kentucky. I want them to know there are unmarked graves across from prison with inmates in it. Needs to be investigated. A lot of people want to know how I managed to survive in prison, especially when they heard my own family, hey, turn it back on me. Everything, I was left for dead. And at a time when we was really homing in on fighting, me and the guards, they was bored. They was getting close to being able to take my life. And they was trying, man. But this white lady out of Paducah, her name was Ann Moore. She was running for governor. And she put an article in the Paducah Sun about something she wanted to know about prisoners. And I wrote her a letter. And she started coming to see me for about 8 years. That stopped them. They knew they can't continue doing what they was doing to me. You know, God, not only that, somebody come to see me, but this person coming to see me is running for governor. She didn't make it, but she was an instrument used by God, sent for my protection. So I had protection coming from all ends, right? But they almost killed me, you know. They tried to. And I had a friend in there named Robert Chin out of Louisville, little short dude. Chin had a lot of heart, good basketball player, short. Came to Eddyville, and we was in a hole in the dungeon together. And I was right about 3 cells from him, and I heard them guards running there and beat him. I'm talking about, man, the McKinney brothers. They the ones that never got charged with no crime. The 2 brothers, McKinney brothers, they beat the hell out of inmates. When I say beat, I mean take billy clubs and pop them in the head till their head just bust open. They would beat people, and you would hear these inmates cry and scream and holler, ah, ah, you know, and you can hear the club like, pop, 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 pop. So, yeah, I said, all right, that's how they rolling in her. And they come in front of my cell. Said, did you hear any noise? I said, yeah. And then the other one said, what did he say? He said he heard it. What did you hear? I said, man, get out of my... I said, I heard this. Y'all was beating this man head to death. And I heard him screaming. That's what I heard. So they stood in front of my cell like they get ready to open my door. I ran over and grabbed that toilet, and it was bolted to the floor. I reached down and grabbed it 2 times and broke all that off of her. Come on in here. They didn't come. But you know, people keep saying that they don't believe half my stuff. But you know what? I gave my agent everything he needs to get my records. All my disciplinary reports, everything. So, hey, he wouldn't even be doing these interviews if I was allowed. He knows I'm telling the truth. I mean, it's on paper. The things I've seen in there, the atrocities committed on black people. And that's why they were sending them down Eddyville, all the black people down there for the white people to just, you know, they needed something to kill. And them guards know that them white guys down there, they the real deals. When they get drunk, make home brew, they gonna kill something. And them guards, they won't fight them. So they'd rather give them something to fight, which was black people. That's how they met them together. You take a racist white person, put them in the same cell with a black person. They do that. Let me tell you about sayings and fights. First of all, there's a saying that tells everything. There's a saying that tells it's gonna rain, snow before it even falls. The season changes. There's a saying that tells you. There's people that can be drunk, and you don't have to know them. You can read the sayings and say, he's drunk on something, and be right. See somebody say, he's gay, and be right, and don't even know him. You can read the sayings. So in prison, I was like a saying reader. I paid attention, I observed. And one day, I'm walking the loop, and I seen these people huddling around. I seen somebody pass somebody, so I said, what's going on? So he can stab dude. The dude he's gonna stab was Blue. And Blue was just sitting down, man. Now I done spoke to Blue, he's out of Louisville, OG, don't really bother nobody, ain't loud or boastful. I knew he made parole, man. Cause we get the parole list on everybody that made parole, we look at it. And this man get ready to stab this man get ready to go home. And this man get ready to try to stab him. So, shit, I ain't got nothing to lose. I ain't going nowhere. I went over and took it. Fought this nigga with a knife. And then when his friend get out of the hole to take over, I did the same thing twice. And the man, I saved this man where he can go home. I did 3 or 4 people like that. Cause in prison, that's how they are, man. Jealousy, man. You know, you can come from the same hood, man. You make parole, people know, man. One write-up can get your parole taken. And here they come. You know, but I wasn't loud. And I saw the same guy on the street. He came to the house. We sat down and talked, and he told my people. He said, I saved his life in prison. I met a guy in the store at Walmart. Had his wife with him, named Gigolo. Gigolo cut her in the penitentiary. You know, he's cold Bob. And Gigolo told my people the same thing. I saved his life. He wouldn't be on the streets if it wasn't for me. I done saved a lot of people's lives and stuff, man. Fleece is a good dude, for real. I am.
Hey Fleece, I was just kind of wondering, for somebody to do 40 years, you couldn't have been going against all the correctional officers every day, every year. So was it any that you felt like you had in your pocket to the point where they protected you, or you could get whatever you needed from them?
There's a bunch of them. The one in particular, he gonna say, man, don't say my name, but I'm gonna say your name, cause I love you like a brother, man. His name was Dunlap, and he's the warden. How Dunlap get his warden position?
I think you might have told us about that. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, he asked me to lay down, stop turning up stuff, stop fighting, 90 days. He'll make warden, and he'll look out for me. And I did. And they got other girls in there that I liked, that I didn't use on intimidate, like Miss Bertha, the ran the canteen. Her husband, Charlie, he worked there, and her son, Big Charlie, Little Charlie. But it was a lot of workers that worked in the penitentiary that I got along with because they was respectful. There was a lot of them in there that didn't kiss my butt. Didn't give me nothing special or nothing, but I got along with them. Like Lieutenant Neal, white man. I remember one time I got sick. The nurse came over, she got an attitude because she want to be like the girls. She heard I fight all the girls, and so she gonna take the girls' side. Ain't nothing wrong with him. So he said, yeah, it is. So she said, well, it ain't. She left. This man here left his post, left the prison, went to the warden's house personally, came back and took me to the hospital, saved me.
What was wrong with you?
Hepatitis
Hepatitis?
B. First sign. And I went to the hospital. They put me on a high protein, high calorie diet, which means eat a lot. The more you eat, the more you duty. And what comes out of you is the bacteria and the infection, right? That's what you're pooping out. So I had to go through that for 8 months. And my waistline went from a 32 waistline to a 52. I had to eat a whole lot of food. I was like a beach ball. But then they had orders in the prison that being I was on a high protein, high calorie diet, the doctor at Lewis Hospital said whatever he want to eat, as much as he want to eat, give it to him. It was approved by the warden. The guards hated it because they like to bring you a tray with just a small amount of food on it. So when they have sausages on, they said, Fleece, we come to do your order. And I already talked to all the inmates on the walk that ain't have nothing to eat. They said, they got pancakes and sausages on them. What you want? I said, I want 22 pancakes, 22 sausages. They said, yeah. I said, well, go get the unit administrator. We'll see if I can't get it. And they'll give it to me. They said, well, you better not be passing this out to the inmates. But I did. I fed everybody on the walk. You know, that's the type of dude I am, man. I feed people, help people. Even though I'm the one that needs it more. And so, it really happened, man. There was a lot of officers, don't get me wrong, man. One of my favorite officers in Louisville jail is a black lady named Ezel. She retired as a captain. Ezel, I loved her, man. I fight over her, fight with her, against anybody. And she's a correctional officer. And I had someone in Eddyville that all I asked for is being locked up is to respect me as a human being, man. Respect my rights, my Bill of Rights, my constitutional rights. You don't have to kiss my butt or nothing, but I ain't gonna let you do me wrong. And there was a lot of them in Eddyville that once I took them from their training, how they train them, and retrained them to treat me as a person, I got along with them and I liked them. And they was good people. And I remember times, man, what about all them Christmas and same goals that people talk bad about? On Christmas, they bring me homemade stuff from home. They wife them cook. Homemade deer meat, barbecue deer meat, all this stuff. Man, I ate so good in prison from his girls, and I guess a lot of them are saying, he gonna lay out there and just talk about all of you ain't bad. All blacks ain't bad. All whites ain't bad. All girls ain't bad. All polices ain't bad. When I came to prison, LaGrange, before they sent me to Eddyville, the maximum security, they sent me to the reformatory, LaGrange. Just as, it ain't as bad as Eddyville, but it was bad. And I remember, here's what we do in prison. People that ain't got money, they hustle. Steal, rob, same way they do in society, they do in prison. And we used to get up early in the morning before breakfast, it'd be dark out there. And we stayed at the bottom. See, LaGrange had a lot of racist stuff. They put the blacks in the bottom. It's like the ghetto projects. Everything in the bottom was tore down, roach infested, and all this stuff. And the white people lived up in dorm 9, 8, and 7 and stuff on the hill. So we used to get up in the morning before they let out for breakfast, 5 or 6 in the morning. And they open the gates and we'd go up there. And while they in the bed asleep, these little rich white boys would take their whole Foot Locker, take it in the bathroom, take it from their bed, take it in the bathroom, and break the locks on them, and take all their stuff, and go back up there and I dorm and sat back, and late on in the evening, oh boy, stuff hit the fan. So here they come. Here come about 30, 40 white boys. We look out the window and say, man, here come a lot of white boys down here. They come to get their stuff. So, what number 3 of us that did it? So me, Billy Jones, and James Martin. I looked at them and I started laughing. I said, well, you scared, Billy? You just scared of what? I turned one of them, hoogies up, all that. So we get our little weapon. Here they come in our wing. I said, what's going on, y'all? They say, man, we heard that y'all came up there and broke in our lockers and stole all our canteen and stuff. I want it back. I said, who told you that? He said, don't worry about all that, man. Your name was mentioned. I said, you know what? I said, you're right, I did. I said, you know what else? You ain't getting nothing back. Nothing. And we fought. And we used to do that. See, it's a battle to stay surviving alive in prison. People don't realize that. They think you go to prison, man, every day you're in there, you're going to have to battle for your survival. You're going to have to create ways to make money, to keep money, to have stuff. And that's what I did. I tore it up down there in the reformatory. And my brothers and stuff were down there and people run to them. You better tell your little brother this and that. It didn't matter. I kept doing what I was doing. Go to the hole, whatever. End up in Eddyville, whatever. And then ended up, they started shipping me around. And they try to do a interstate compact. It means take me and trade me with a prisoner from another state. But you know what saved me there? They would have killed me. In the other prisons, ain't no doubt in my mind they would have tried. Probably succeeded. But the only thing that stopped that is the prison, when they saw my record, who they was trying to trade, they said, he's worse than the people we trying to get rid of. No, we don't need somebody like that. And that saved me, dog. So it's a good thing that I was aggressive.
Would they trade you like cars or something? What you mean?
Here's what they do. They did Frank Covington like that. He's out of Bowling Green. Frank killed Dennis Butler. He killed Dennis Butler, and I was in a hole when he did it. And me and this little white dude, a rock monster, real name Gene Miller. So we in a hole, man. We out on the walk together as janitors. So they said, go in your cell. We got one coming in. Just kill somebody. We went in our cell. They brought him in, put him in his cell, and he running his mouth. Yeah, I killed him. I killed him. And all this shit. So I said, oh, shoot. So they opened our door and let us back on the wall. So Frank got to hollering, whoa, man, come here. So I looked at Rock. I started laughing. I said, who's he talking to? Rock said, I don't know who he talking about talking to. You know, Rock talked like a black person. You know, he's a white dude. He said, I don't know who that chalk mouth was talking to. He ain't talking to me. I said, me either. He said, I done killed one, and I can kill another one. I said, let's go see him, man. So I went down up to his cell. I said, what's going on, brother Frank? He said, I ain't your brother. I called y'all, and I need somebody to come down and bring me a broom. I said, I ain't bringing you nothing. I said, first of all, punk, was that your first kill? I said, Rock, is that his first kill? And we made fun of him, talked about him. I ended up whooping his butt. But they took him and sent him to a prison out of state. He didn't last a week. They killed him. Most of every prisoner that they was transferring, just like in white guy, Danny Nelson, he was a legal aid lawyer. He got all the white guys out for anything they get in, killings and stabbings. And he was so good at their legal stuff, and the prison got sick of him, sent him to Mexico somewhere, and they killed him. So they was killing people all over, man. You know, and they tried to send me out of state, but my record was too bad. And so I'm kind of glad they didn't. Because I probably wouldn't have made it out there.
What was they trying to send you to, you know?
No. But it would have been the worst that they got. And usually when they send prisoners away, like, you can have a good name at your prison as a warrior. You know, what prisoners look for is somebody to come, just like out in the streets, it's us against the police. You know, in prison it's us against the guards, supposed to be. But here's how they do it. When they transfer you, they will put out some bad stuff. They'll say he's a rat, baby, all this stuff. The inmates don't know, they'll take it for granted. And you come in there and ain't did nothing to nobody, they just start stabbing you. Because they think you are. Then you got a lot of weak-ass inmates that do stuff for guards, for advantages, right? Like a guard gonna bring some whiskey, or beer, give them some money, let them have sex, let them go in the cell and have sex with somebody. Stuff like that, they'll do favors for the guard. When he come in, we'll kill him. You know, all that stuff. And that's how they do it, man. And that's why I didn't run with no inmates, and I ain't have no gangs or nothing, because I didn't like the way people operated. You know, they doing favors for these guards and stuff in here. And I done saw so many times where these gangsters was drilling their friends out of information, they ratting on them to get out of prison. It's a whole lot of stuff going on. I stayed away from it. I did. But I tell you what, though, they wanted me dead. They tried, they didn't succeed, and they still trying. If they see this time, it might be at a time when I'm ready to go. You heard me? But when I ain't ready, don't try me, man. You know, don't try me. And they trying me out here in society, but, you know, I'm in a peaceful state, man. I can cause major extensive damage out here if I wanted to. But you know what? Like I said, when I left prison, a changed man, I stayed changed.
I know you talked about the cemetery. Nobody else, well, people know about it, but I guess they don't know the history behind it.
Let me tell you, Kentucky got one of the nasty history. Here's the people that I'm fighting against. Here's the people that put stuff on the internet to try to sabotage me. Here's what they did. Imagine this. 13-year-old girl named Susan. The first child, female, black, put in the Kentucky State Legislature. 13.
You already talked about that.
Yeah, but I want these people right here to know that the people that I'm fighting against, that want to sabotage me, try to make me look bad.
I think she was hung, wasn't she?
No, she was electrocuted.
Oh, okay.
They put that little girl in the electrocution, and her last words was, pull the switch. I'm not afraid to die. Boy, I wish I could find her grave, boy. Because I would so put something on it. And if I had enough money and the means, I would track it down all the way to the grave site. And I would honor that child. But they try to do me the same way. They try to get me as a child, corrupt me, do this and that. I fought, succeeded. I'm still fighting, still succeeding. Drink up.